Look, I got a baby sunflower. And I got a couple others getting ready to open up. It won't be long now, guys. Let's get on with the video. I'm going to do this one in the studio. We'll see you downstairs. Have you guys ever described somebody to somebody else? Like, let's say Joanne said something to you, and you're going to tell somebody else what Joanne says, and you ever changed your voice? I'm calling this, what is your third party voice? Alright guys, let's get started on this video. What brought this to mind was something my wife said to me the other day. We was driving, and she says, Michael, as I was telling her something somebody else said, she says, Michael, is that the voice for so-and-so? Is that what you use? I'm like, what? And then I was talking to some friends this morning, and I kind of brought it up again. I was like, this might make a pretty good video idea. Maybe some of my YouTube friends might do the same thing I do. Alright, let's get started. Yeah, I'm scratching my head. I think this camera may be zoomed in too close this time. I back up a little bit. Just in case it is. It's hard to adjust the camera because when I adjust the camera, I can't leave any gaps in my green screen behind me. And sometimes I zoom a little bit too much. But anyway, have you ever basically talked to somebody, it could be anybody, and you're talking about a third party? Have you ever changed your voice? Let me give you an example. Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. My good buddy Ricky, you know what he did the other day? He did something very, very dumb. Ricky was driving down the road, and he got a flat tire. So when I said to Ricky, I said, Ricky, you're going to pull over so we can change this? And Ricky looked at me and says, well, not on this car, because this car is perfectly made for flat tires. See, there's the third voice. Or let's take my friend Sarah, okay? Sarah basically went to one of these parties that, you know, you go and you buy things like candles and, you know, all the girly stuff. Sarah goes to this party, then she comes back and she runs into me. You know, we was down at the park and she run into me and she says, Michael, I'm going to tell you what, this and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, so I talked to Sarah when I got home. I told my wife what Sarah said. I said, Angie, Sarah says, well, I went to the party and I didn't like anything they had and they was just all snobs. Right there's my third party voice. Now, you guys ever done this? You ever describe somebody else to somebody else and use a different voice? And it only seems that you use the funny inner voice, the inner voice that you're giving these people when they do something that's a little bit, I don't know, whacked. But does it ever happen when you're describing somebody that does something really nice? Let's jump onto somebody else. Let's jump onto my buddy Jeff. Okay? And by the way, Jeff, if you're watching this, I'm just using your name, not anything you told me, okay? So I'm walking down the park the other day, and Jeff told me something really interesting. Actually, let's do use something Jeff said to me, okay? Exactly what Jeff said to me. So I was actually talking to Jeff the other day. He told me something interesting. And when I told my wife, it was something like this. Angie, do you remember the trees down there at Waterway? And Angie's like, uh-huh. Could that be a third party voice? And I said, the trees down Waterway, I have an idea what they may be doing with them. Jeff told me this morning, he told me he has on good authority, they may be carving statues out of them. And they did the same thing down there at the park. I mean, the walkway. Now, you see, I didn't change my voice for Jeff. I didn't. Why would that be? Because what Jeff says something I wanted to hear that got me excited because statues are going to be cool? Or is it because I think highly of Jeff because he's a good friend of mine? Could that be it? Or is it because Jeff wasn't complaining and I didn't really want to hear it? That's probably it, because we never change our voice for somebody when we like what they say, now do we? Sad to say, I even do it when it comes to my own wife. And Lord forgive me, when she sees this, guys, I'm probably in the doghouse. The other day, I was doing dishes, okay? and I didn't dry some of the dishes off correctly. Alright? It happens, it happens! So I was basically doing dishes, and Damien comes up to me and says, Dad, why are you putting so much time into drying them? I said, Damien, your mother came in here the other day and she's like, oh my God, you're leaving the dishes half wet. A third party voice from my wife. I love my wife. I do. But yet I still gave her a third party voice. Why? Because of what she said was aggravating. So maybe that's when the voices come out. Just maybe when there's something somebody's saying to you that's a little aggravating, and then you go to tell this person, that's when you change their voice. You give them a third party voice. We all do it. Come on. No more jump cuts. We all do it. Well, I can't say you guys might do it, because you might not do it. I don't know. But I do it all the time. When I'm talking about a third party, and I sometimes change their voice. Yes, I'm guilty as hell. I truly am. I'm like, well, so-and-so said, nah, 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 nah. Or, I don't know. Yeah, I even use that voice too. Don't ask them where that comes from. Don't ask them where these third-party voices come from, because they just come out there. So when the other day my wife and I was driving, and I was saying something from a third party that told me something, and when I was telling my lovely wife, I used a what? I used a third party voice. Yeah, I did. Does that make me an ass? Don't answer that. Okay? But truthfully, it isn't really nice when we do that. But I can't say everybody does it, but I know a lot of people that do. And if that makes us an ass, then yes, we might as well face it. Doing that's not nice. I would love to tell you guys I'm going to stop doing that. I would love to tell you all, but I don't know if I can. Although I said it's not nice, but could I stop? If I thought about it, then I could stop. But it's just, I don't know. I would have to give it some thought. Because trying to explain something that somebody else told me that's kind of like aggravating, it's really no fun to do it if you're going to use your own voice. It's always more fun to give another voice. So guys, leave me down there, okay? And don't tell me how much of an asshole I am, because we already established I am for doing this. But let me know when you're talking about somebody as a third party, and you're telling them somebody what that third party said, sometimes do you make your own little third party voice up? I love to say everybody does it, but I can't be for sure, because honestly, I have met a few people that haven't done it, but I've met a whole bunch of people that have. And when we do it, we don't even realize we're doing it. Now do we? So leave me comments down there, and don't forget, subscribe. Share me on Facebook. Hit that like button. If you really enjoy this kind of content, let me know. I would do more things like this. I'm not going to know unless you tell me. But until then, come on guys, let's get out of here. See, when you talk about me to your friends, and you're telling your friends, well, I watch one Bubba Mike 1. They're like, who's that? Some idiot with a long white goatee. Well, what type of videos does he do? You can use your third-party voice for me. You got my permission. Alright? Till next time, come on, let's get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.